Morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel today. This is Paul from Kentucky Tacklebox. Today, I want to talk about doing kind of an interesting modification. Going through some of my, I was going through some of my tackle hardware today, and as I started to pull out some things, I pulled out a couple of hooks and some split rings and some old different blades in various sizes. I've got some willow and some Colorado and these are on the smaller side too. These aren't the largest blades, but they're just miscellaneous things I've had from lures that have broken or that I found while fishing that I've harvested parts off of. So I got to thinking about them, and I thought, you know what? Maybe I can actually kind of give some of the stuff I'm throwing a new look. So, and this is kind of more geared for guys that are throwing a lot of soft plastic lures. But basically, the two most popular style lures are your straight hooks, and these happen to be like an offset straight. Then you have your EWG hooks, and they come in various sizes, from smaller ones to larger ones. But anyway, I got to thinking that what if you took some of these blades and just use a split ring and then split ring them to the front of the eye hook for the hook, and then it gives it a different look. And then you still can add your soft plastic to the back of the hook. So what I've done is I've rigged up a couple just to kind of show you what they could look like. So the first one here, I took just a standard straight hook that's offset and added a split ring to it, and then I put on a little small gold willow blade, and then I just added a small soft plastic. So, and this allows you some options too. You can direct tie to the hook itself and the eyelet at the front, or you could tie your line right on the split ring and allow the hook and the blade to pivot. So that would be a couple of different options as far as you tying on. I would probably start out by tying directly to the hook eyelet and leaving the split ring to kind of wiggle free in the water as you're kind of pulling it through. But either way may work, and you may find one way is going to work better than the other. And then the same thing here on the offset hook. I just added like a small crappie magnet body, and this one's using like a chrome blade instead of a gold one. And the same thing applies, you know. And I'm using smaller blades because I want them to have a gap as they're fluttering around in the water, so they're not kind of falling on the hook. A larger blade would probably work, but you run the risk of it falling on the hook when the fish goes to grab at it. So just a couple of options as far as rigging goes. But what's nice about this type of modification is it adds a little bit of a flash as your lure's moving through the water. And sometimes, you know, you can mimic the action of like an underspin lure or even an inline spinner or a spinner bait, but just on a more subtle or subdued level. And I think this really could be a great modification. And basically, a lot of times, you know, as you're fishing, you end up with a lot of hardware, miscellaneous parts and pieces. You know, you buy a bag of hooks, you may use a couple, and then the rest just throw in the bottom of your tackle box. And the same thing with split rings. And if you're like me and you harvest lures that you find on the bank when you're fishing, or if you take lures apart and modify them, sometimes you end up with extra blades. So this hardware is all maybe already in your tackle box. It's just a matter of, you know, building it up. But just something to think about. It's kind of an interesting modification, and I think giving the fish a different look is a lot to do with the success of your bite. And this is just another example of that. It's basically just taking some things that you've already had and putting them together to give it kind of a new look. So think about it. If you have some hardware laying around your tackle box, it might be a great day to play around with it. Right now, the bite is really starting to pick up in Kentucky, and I was out yesterday, had a lot of success fishing, and hopefully you'll be getting out soon yourselves. So anyways, I just wanted to kind of show you an option that you have with some hardware that you have in your tackle box. So thanks again, as always, for watching the channel, and get outdoors when you can. It's a great place to be. We'll see you next time. Bye.